Hello, sports broadcasting fans. My name is John Lewis, and you are listening to another edition of Sportscaster Chronicles, the place that reminds sports fans that not all the great plays and exciting action happens down on the field. Sometimes it happens up in the broadcast booth, and we are excited and honored to welcome our guest today. He is a man who's been calling Major League Baseball for almost 40 years. He was the original voice of the Montreal Expos, called them for 32 seasons, and the past 8 years has been radio voice of the Fish, the Florida Marlins, a member of Canada's Baseball Hall of Fame, is a winner of the annual Jack Graney Award, and maybe we can talk a little bit about Jack, another great Canadian. We welcome for the first time to Sportscaster Chronicles, Mr. Dave Van Horne. Dave, welcome to Sportscaster Chronicles.
John, a pleasure. It'd be good to talk to you.
Obviously, a lot going on. The trading deadline coming up, ending in a few hours. Actually, today, the Thursday, July 31st. Everything that you're hearing on your end, Dave, from your GM Michael Hill, is indeed Manny Ramirez coming to the Marlins.
Well, of course, the deal has not been done, but I think there are at least three teams involved in the whole package, and there's a lot to be accomplished. First of all, Manny Ramirez, as you know, has a right of refusal on the whole deal. That I know of, the last news that we got, he still hadn't been approached. So, yeah, they're working hard at it. It can get very convoluted when you're dealing with a lot of contracts and moving people. And then if it's a three-way deal, why you've got that third party that's also involved. And these things have a way of changing minute by minute. For example, I don't know that this really happened, but last night they said that one of the holdups on the deal was the fact that after framing the work of the deal, that then the Marlins said, okay, now we need to just change one thing. Well, it could be Pittsburgh saying we need to change one thing, or Boston says we need to add this or subtract that, and these things take some time. And we all know by experience, too, John, that when there is a trading deadline, whether in the old days it was midnight, or whether in the case of nowadays where it's a 4 p.m. Eastern deal, as far as the deadline is concerned, that some of these deals are announced like at 3:59, or it used to be at 11:59, and right at the bewitching hour. So only time's going to tell, but it's a pretty exciting thought because Manny Ramirez, of course, is an impact player.
Yes, he is, and those three ways you're talking about, Jason Bay would go to the Red Sox, and Jeremy Hermida would go to the Pirates. Dave, to me and a lot of baseball experts, this deal is strange to say the least. It doesn't make sense on a lot of levels. First of all, the Marlins, known for having a very low payroll, $22 million, one of the lowest in the league, and not the lowest. It doesn't really address any of the needs that they desperately want, catching, pitching, outside of selling a lot of tickets and bringing in a huge headache to the clubhouse and the craziness that's Manny Ramirez. What do you think Michael Hill is thinking?
Well, I think they're thinking positively. They're thinking this. It would be really a matter of having Manny in a Marlins uniform for 2 months. And then it would be structured as such that he would become a free agent after that. So the hope is that he would come down here, have something to prove in those 2 months, to perhaps repair a little bit of a damaged image, and as well stay out on the field and play hard every day and help this young Marlins team. The Marlins' objective this year is to get to the playoffs and then go as far and as deep into the playoffs as they possibly can. That's what they want to do. I don't think there's any chance in the world that Manny Ramirez would be here beyond just the final 2 months of this season. So their hope is that he would come down here really charged up and excited about the opportunity to show the baseball world that he's still Manny Ramirez as far as the bat is concerned and the production is concerned, and that's what the Marlins are interested in. Another note, too, Manny has a home right here, just minutes from the ballpark, as a matter of fact, over in Weston. He has a home here. He has a child in school here. Manny has ties to South Florida, and it may be a very comfortable situation for him if indeed his Boston days are over.
Right. I did not know that, and I haven't heard that talked about in the baseball pundits that he has, family ties and whatnot to Florida. So that certainly will help the Marlins. Is Michael Hill? Have you heard anything? Is he trying to address the catching situation? Matt Trainer's been down with a hip injury. Any pitching moves in the works that you've heard about?
Yeah, John, I think really the Marlins went into this whole deal. The Ramirez possibility is a total surprise. The Marlins went into this these final few days leading up to the deadline with a couple of objectives: to bring in an established major league receiver, a catcher that would be an upgrade. They have had some young catchers like John Baker right now, who's carrying the load with Matt Trainer on the disabled list, Paul Hoover backing him up. But the Marlins felt that they needed to upgrade the situation behind the plate. So that was perhaps the number one. I think the consensus in the organization was that was the number one objective, that if the Marlins could only get one piece to add to the team, what would that piece be? Everybody seemed to be on the same page that it would be a catcher. After that, they did want to help the bullpen. The bullpen has gotten better and better. If you look at the stats, they've moved right on up the ladder, and I think they're now third or fourth in the league as far as bullpen production is concerned. So it's gotten a lot better, but they did want to add someone that would be very reliable and proven, tested, true to work the seventh and eighth innings and give some help to people like Matt Lindstrom and Raniel Pinto. Who are almost in there on a daily basis.
Right.
So they were the two top priorities: the catcher and perhaps some bullpen help. So the Ramirez thing virtually came, pardon the pun, from out of left field.
Right. And that will.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see if Josh Willingham will move over to right and Manny will play left. There's a lot of.
There's a lot of question marks. Exactly, because Willingham is a left fielder. And the Marlins would really be without a right fielder if Jeremy Hermida is included in that package. So that may open the door perhaps to Luis Gonzalez playing more. It affects the batting order because Hermida has been the team's number 2 hitter. Who's going to bat in the second spot? Certainly it's not going to be Manny if the Ramirez deal did come about. So, yeah, there are a lot of situations to solve, but I'm sure that what Freddie and the front office people have said, look, we'll work all that out, just let's get the best 25 we can get going into the final 2 months.
We are speaking with our special guest, voice of the Florida Marlins, Dave Van Horne, from his home in South Florida. Dave, the Marlins, as usual, sticking around, low payroll, but they have great talent as always, and magic always kind of seems to flourish with the Marlins somehow, some way. They always kind of hang in there. Talk about Freddie Gonzalez. You mentioned Freddie a second ago. His first year as manager, obviously doing a great job. What does he bring, or what has he brought to this clubhouse, and give us a little insight to who he is and how he's managing?
Well, Freddie has done really very quietly because he doesn't get a whole lot of publicity. He's not an outspoken, high-profile manager, but he's just very quietly done a terrific job in running the games, creating the right matchups to give the team the best opportunity to win games on a daily basis. A lot of hard work, a good disciplinarian. Like Bobby Cox, for whom he worked for 4 years, he does most of his disciplinary work behind the scenes, behind closed doors, and it stays in the clubhouse. Freddie has a very secure clubhouse. He doesn't like the business, the inner workings of the team to get outside of the clubhouse, but he is a terrific disciplinarian. He doesn't let any misplay on the field or off the field go unnoticed and not addressed. He addresses everything and usually immediately. So he is very quietly becoming an impact manager. Last year, it was a feeling out process for Freddie in his first year. Now he is developing more into his own man as far as the way he runs the ball club and runs the games. And he's much more confident, certainly, this year, where last year a lot of his moves were based on experimentation. This year they're based on experience and knowledge and terrific matchups, and he's been very good. And he's a delight to be around on a daily basis, very engaging guy.
Dave, we're coming up on a break. When we return, we will continue our conversation with Dave Van Horne. This is Sportscaster Chronicles. Come on.